Ding dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Jobless Coder, and yesterday was the start of the Steam Winter Sale. So today I want to run through a list of top 10 games that I've noticed on sale. This list is in no particular order. These are just games that I've either played in the past or that I've heard great reviews about, and I've noticed they happen to be on sale. So if you get a chance to check them out, make sure to do that. But before I get into the video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for any future content that I put out. Without further ado, let's get started. The first game on the list is one that I actually developed and I put out into the Steam store at the end of October. It's called Halloween Decoration Sandbox, and I would be remiss if I didn't at least include this on my list because I have actually put it on the Steam sale. It is currently going for a 30% discount, so you can pick up this game for about $8 Canadian. Now, the whole point of the game is to be an open world sandbox where you can decorate your own Halloween displays using all of the decorations that we've customized and included into the game. You can also customize the terrain as well as the lighting effects within the game, and once you've decorated your own little sandbox, then you can actually walk around, look and view the different decorations. You can also put down candy spots where you can collect different candy, almost like a trick-or-treating type simulator. Now, the game isn't completely finished yet. It is technically still early access, even though it's not listed in the store as early access because there was, some confusion around the release date over exactly what those terms and everything meant. But some of the future plans that we have to include in the game are things like VR, which would allow you to go around using different VR headsets like the Oculus Rift or maybe one of the Microsoft headsets. We want to have a fully integrated terrain modifier that allow you to change the different terrain types and textures, maybe even be able to add different water. You can already change the height scale of the terrain right now, and there's a bit of bugs and stuff with that we need to go through and work out. Some of the other features that we're still working on implementing is the ability to share in the cloud the customized maps that you've made, so then other people can download them and maybe modify them or walk around and kind of play out your own maps. I took a lot of inspiration from Roller Coaster Tycoon when I was making this game, so it has a little bit of that aesthetic type of feel where you're kind of doing this customized open world, build your own amusement park, but in this case it's your own Halloween display. So if that's something that sounds like it would interest you, make sure to check it out. It's on sale until January 5th when the Steam sale ends. The next game on the list is called Angels with Scaly Wings. Now, this game you can get on discount at 70%. You can pick it up for about $4 Canadian on the Steam Winter Sale. And this game is a visual novel that has certain aspects of dating sim type mechanics, and it has different branching paths as well with the story. So in the story, you're an ambassador from Earth that's gone through this portal. You end up in another world, but in this world, instead of people being the main occupants of the world, there's actually dragons, like humanoid type dragons that have emotions and feelings, and they can all talk. And so it's a great story to it, but because it has different branching paths, it almost has a kind of like, Detroit gameplay to it, where if you make one decision and you go down this path, you get a different outcome. You make another decision and you go down that path, then the story changes. So you can actually play this game several times and get different endings every time. And some of the achievements, I think, is even to, get every single one of the story endings. So you kind of have to try and guess and pick the different choices that you make that are going to lead to certain outcomes. And now, if you're somebody like me who's a furry, you've probably already picked up this game. But if you've never heard of it before, you might find it enjoyable. You can pick it up for about $4 Canadian. The third game on my list is an exploration/management/survival style game. It's called Sunless Seas, and you can pick it up for about $7 Canadian on sale. Now, this game is one of my favorite indie games pretty much ever. The game is beautifully crafted. It's got wonderful aesthetic look to it. The graphics are amazing. One of the best parts of it is the music. The music has this like kind of grungy-esque type. The whole setting, the whole theme of the game is very steampunk style. It's kind of set in this dystopian type London area where you have to go out to sea and explore around, and there's different monsters and mysterious islands. And so it has this really kind of dark and grungy type atmosphere to it that if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll really enjoy it. And the music blends in perfectly with it. It is a very challenging game. It is extremely difficult because you have to start out with like a small ship and then go to different islands and complete different tasks, and then you can upgrade to larger ships on there. You can upgrade the weapons that you have, so that way you can fight bigger monsters at sea. The story to the game is very text-based. There's no voice acting or anything like that. There's no animations really. It's all just a bunch of text-based, so there's a lot of reading entailed into it. So if you're into anything like D&D or pathfinding or other text-based RPG type things, you really enjoy this game. Now, even if you're not, you can just completely remove that out of the picture, and the game is still really fun and challenging because you have to see as long as you can survive. You have to manage a lot of things in the game, like the food and your crew. You can swap out your different crew members. You have to manage them so they don't, create a mutiny aboard your ship. It's really difficult because you can play for like 2 or 3 hours and get so far through the map and then just die and have to start right back at the beginning. And that's one of the things about the games, is you have to start right at the beginning when you lose. But when you play it, you can get different upgrades and stuff that you can start out with at the beginning, so it becomes a little bit easier as you go along. So if that sounds like it interests you, check it out. You can get it for $7 on sale. The next game on the list is called Shenzhen I, and you can get it on sale at half. Now, this game is a puzzle game that's actually based on real-world computer science logic. And so the story is you're working for this kind of manufacturing computer microchip company in Shenzhen, China, which happens to be the world's central hub for where all of computer components get manufactured. And so they give you different tasks where you have to build like a switch or something that will turn a light on and off at certain points. And it actually uses assembly code to do that and turn on the switches on and off. And there's so many things that can be done with this. They also have a different kind of open style play area where you can create your own challenges and then upload them to the cloud and have other people download them and try them out. So you can also build your own type of challenge. And one of the really cool things is that you can basically do anything on this that you could actually program in a real computer. You can find somebody that's made, a working Tetris game on the computer board simulator. This game, Shenzhen I, it's based on actual computer science logic. So if you're into coding or you want to learn more about it, it's also a great learning tool because the code that it uses is very, very similar to, actual assembly language code that every computer on Earth uses. You can pick it up for about $8.50 Canadian. Coming in at number 5 on the list, I've got the Jackbox Party Pack number 7. Now, it doesn't have to be 7. It can be any one of them. Jackbox Party Pack 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 7, because they're all pretty much similar and the same. But this is a great, awesome game to play with friends at parties. That is when we get to have parties in the future. You can play it, with like people that are streaming on Twitch, but it's just a lot better in person because everybody's all gathered together and laughing in the same room. And so it has different games. Some of them are asking you different trivia questions. Other games draw some pictures. And so one person hosts the game on their laptop, and then it's connected to a server, and then everybody connects on their phones. So everybody gets to sit there and play on their phones, and you have to punch in a code, which is why you can play it, like over Twitch, because you just punch in the code to connect. But it's a lot better in the group atmosphere where they're all sitting together. So it doesn't really matter which number you get, whether it's Party Pack 4, 5, or 6 or whatnot. But make sure that if you do pick up only just one of these, I would recommend getting any one that contains the Quiplash game. And I think there's 2 or 3 different versions of it now at this point. But Quiplash is probably the funnest game in all of these packs because it's basically like Cards Against Humanity, except you type whatever you want. So it's basically like playing Cards Against Humanity where you've got a freebie card for every single turn because you can put whatever you want. So the more crazy and wild wild and dirty you are, the more creative you are with your answers, the better and better it becomes. And it also allows you to use like inside jokes. If you've got like certain jokes amongst you and your friends that only you would understand, those jokes can fit right perfectly into this game, and it's quite a blast. So pick it up. It's called Jackbox Party Pack 7. You can get it for about 25% off during the Steam Winter Sale. Coming in at number 6, we have South Park: The Stick of Truth. Now you can get this on sale for about 75% off, so it'll cost you about 10 Canadian dollars to pick up. And this game is obviously based on the TV show series that's really popular and also highly controversial. So there is a lot of, dark and cringy humor in this, and if that's your thing, you're definitely going to love this game. The graphics match the style of the graphics perfectly to the TV show. They're working in collaboration directly with the animators on the show. They're part of the team that helped created this game. And like I said, it has the same type of humor, that cringy type of dark humor as well. So if you love that kind of stuff, you'll definitely enjoy this game. You can pick it up for $10. Now, game number 7 on this list is actually several years old. I think it was put out in 2013 or 2014. It's called To the Moon, and it is the cheapest game. You can pick it up for as cheap as 2 Canadian dollars. And this game is a kind of 2.5D style play-through adventure story. And so it kind of has a structured path that you go through and you play through the story. And it's almost like a visual novel type of story as well. Everything is hand-drawn, the graphics, the art style, it's all beautifully hand-drawn. And they've got this wonderful piano music set to the background. The storyline is absolutely heart-tugging, emotional. It pulls on the heartstrings. I'd be remiss if you played this game and didn't bawl your eyes out at the end of it. It has that kind of Zelda almost style. It looks a bit like Zelda. It's kind of like a bit like Pokemon, but it's more of like a visual novel with this kind of sci-fi twist added into it. So if you're into anything like that, this you can make sure to check out as well. It's called To the Moon, and you can get it for 2 Canadian dollars. Now, the 8th game on the list is the only game on my list that I haven't actually played, but my roommate just picked it up this week, and he keeps talking about it every day and tells me that I need to buy it and I need to play it. It's called Sea of Thieves, and you can get it half price for about $25. And I've had a look at the game. I think it looks to me like a bit of Black Flag, Assassin's Creed style gameplay thrown into there. You're managing the ship of this crew of pirates on this ship. My roommate was telling me that he was in some kind of quest or whatever with his friend. It's also multiplayer, I guess, so you can play with different people and have your crew set up. And he was running away for like 2 hours from these guys that kept chasing him. And apparently there's no real bonus or anything that you get from killing other people in the game, but they were chasing them for 2 hours to kill them and sink their ship, because apparently that's what these other people really wanted to do. So it sounds like it's really open world style, free play. You can kind of do anything that you want in the game. The ratings for it are very high. It's called Sea of Thieves, and you can get it for $25. Now, the second to last game on my list, game number 9, is a game that I would actually recommend picking up for a console if you have it, just because it's played a lot better on a big TV, but I know that not everybody has, a console, and not everybody prefers a console game over playing with the mouse and keyboard. Now, that's just my personal preference, but if you don't really mind or you don't really care, I recommend The Witcher 3. This game is on a 70% discount. You can get it for about 16, 17 Canadian dollars. And it is very similar to Skyrim. If you've ever played that, I would say that it's actually better than Skyrim. And I think the world is bigger than Skyrim as well. You can play it for quite literally days and weeks worth of time and still not complete it. And as well, there's 2 additional story packs that you can get as like DLC to add even more to the story. It is a very mature story, so there's different, sexuality themes or whatever included in it. It's very bloody. It has a great story. It's based on the books, the novel that was done, and now it's turned into a Netflix TV show as well with Henry Cavill, I think, the guy that played Superman. And so The story is amazing, the graphics are amazing, the gameplay is extremely fun. I enjoy it way more than Skyrim, and it's really well balanced. And if you've ever played any of these type of open world, massive multiplayer, well, this isn't multiplayer, but I mean, if you've played a multiplayer online game, like World of Warcraft, you'll enjoy it. And the animation as well, the graphics are astounding. That's why I say it's better to be played on like a big TV. You want like a 50-inch, 60, 70-inch screen TV to play it on a console. But if that's not really your thing, or you don't have that, you can still get it to play on your computer on the Steam Winter Sale for about $17 is what it'll cost you. Now, the 10th and final game that you can pick up on the Steam Winter Sale is one that will cost you about $21. It's 60% on sale, and it is called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now, this game is something that was actually a Kickstarter project from several years ago, and they pretty much almost instantly funded it overnight. I think it got several thousand or even 100,000 backers. They raised over $1 million worth of funding. I think it is the second or third highest funded video game that has ever been done on a Kickstarter campaign. And the reason for that being is that the primary developer on this game, his name, I know I'm going to butcher this, is Koji Igarashi, and he is the primary developer from the 1997 video game Castlevania Symphony of the Night. To this day, has held a title and a reputation for being one of the greatest games ever developed, ever. And I have played it, and I absolutely will attest to that. And so Igarashi has taken the experience that he got and the skills that he got from developing that game and poured it all into this new franchise called Bloodstained. It's a Metroidvania, Castlevania-style game with beautiful graphics and wonderful music. Everything is, hand-drawn and hand-animated, and they worked years and years on this to make it basically the best game that they could possibly make it in terms of like a Castlevania-style game. Obviously, Konami owns the rights to the original Castlevania, and they're just completely doing whatever they want with it, but Igarashi has taken his style of 2D platformer game, the Metroidvania game, and he's put so much love and effort into this new franchise, Bloodstained, and I think they're even working on a second one if it's not already released at this point. So I definitely recommend you to check that out. It'll cost you about $21 on sale. Well, there you have it. Those are 10 fantastic games that you can pick up on sale during the Steam Winter Sale. Now, of course, there's plenty of other games that are on sale that are great that just didn't make the list. So if there's anything that you think that I'm missing, or if you want to leave a comment below to let me know that you agree with the choices in my list, then go ahead and do so, as well as giving this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.